Once again, you have found the most definitive program and all things Star Wars, the Old Republic related. I do apologize, everyone out there listening to the Cult of Crasus. I have been on a vacation. I went to Winchester, Virginia, and Antietam Battlefield in Maryland. I also went to Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia. I've been doing some traveling as well as doing some final exams because I am also a student. And so therefore I have not been able to bring to you the Cult of Crasus. And I do apologize. You deserve better. So I am the Star Wars host you want, not necessarily the one you deserve. So getting back with that, I do have some bad news. Of course, as many of you have heard since my last show, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes has passed on. It is in his memory that I actually do not do one of my wrestling type promos at this. I love The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He was a fat, galded, hefty man who did a lot more than anyone ever expected and set the stage for professional wrestling. Not that I am necessarily a professional wrestling fan today, however, it influenced my childhood. It is something I look back upon very, very fondly and had a lot of fun with. And Dusty Rhodes was was definitely the reason behind a lot of that. I know my aunt, who used to take me to all the wrestling matches, absolutely loved Dusty. I love Dusty, and I loved what he did for the business and entertainment overall. Okay? So getting back at it, a lot has happened. Good, bad, maybe. I know everyone's heard it. We're having coffee, baby. It's coffee. Star Wars, the Old Republic presents Coffee Knights of the Fallen Empire. Coffee, baby. Yeah. Anyway, so we're getting the new content, and everyone is excited. Okay, because the announcement came out. The trailer was fantastic. The first time I saw it, I was like, eh. The last time I saw it, I was like, wow. It was just something else. And BioWare has came out, and they are getting back to what they feel their strengths are. And that might be good. It might be good. So, let's go ahead and get into what I feel about everything. More story, and that's really what they feel that people want. And I don't necessarily agree with that completely. Yes, story is important, but once again, as I have railed on in the shows that I have done before, it can't be just story. Okay, I talked about how BioWare is actually best when it's able to come up with a good story and be able to incorporate that story in an overall motif of operations and flashpoints and all the other things that you do in order to have a successful MMO. Okay, the World of Warcraft has a pretty good story. They kind of hide it under a bunch of stuff, but they are best when they actually were able to put that story into their dungeons and raids, and BioWare is no exception to this. Like, for instance, when the Rise of the Hut Cartel came out. Okay, so now we really could have used some Hut operations. That would have been cool, and maybe some real Hut type of type of flashpoints instead of tacticals that came out. I'm all for killing Huts. Everyone raise your hand if you would like to kill Huts. I can't see you, but I think your hand is risen right now. It's 100%. Everyone loves to kill Huts, okay? I am a big fan of that myself. However, they came on with their Belsavus arcing story about the Dread Masters, okay? And that really took to the forefront when this is a spoiler, by the way, if you haven't done Scum and Villainy. And if you haven't, where are you? But if you haven't done Scum and Villainy, Styrak is at the end, and then you had the coup de grace with Dread Palace and Dread Fortress. You even had a daily area, which was really good. I thought dropping Oricon the way they did. I thought, especially the first time through, was very, very interesting. They did really good, but they incorporated their storyline with the operation, and they did it in a very coherent manner, to the point where, for some reason, we had almost a year of Dread Palace and Dread Fortress as far as operations go, without the game just falling apart. And they didn't really do any flashpoints to support it, which they probably should have. However, you know, they had their own little kind of offshoot flashpoints. You know, that's where your Korriban incursion and things like that actually came through. They really didn't directly support the whole story behind, you know, Oricon and what was going on. It basically kind of set us up for, you know, the Shadow of Revan. And that was an interesting way that they did it. They probably, in my opinion, should have done something a little different, but that's okay. So I'm going to try not to just destroy the show by talking about those things. What I can say is, I have been playing this game since launch. Alright, I did take a small sabbatical. I've often threatened to quit playing this game, and have for short periods of time, but I have been playing since the beginning. And in the beginning, some similar information actually popped out, where when you bought this game, it's choices that matter. Operations that matter. Things you do will change how your story ends. A long time ago, back in the beginning, things were different.
Welcome everyone to the Cult of Crasus Galactic News. This show has been brought to you in part by Lucky Strike Justice. Lucky Strike, it's toasted. Today we have got great news that BioWare is going to release Star Wars The Old Republic, a continuation of Knights of the Old Republic, only in MMO form. Go through one of 8 unique storylines, level the way that you want, enjoy interesting companions, bask in a game where your decisions actually matter, fly and battle across the galaxy in your very own starship, group with your friends in 4-man or 8-man content. Go get 'em, boys. Update. After the initial launch of selling 2 million copies, Star Wars The Old Republic has been reduced to 1.7 million subscribers, lacking lack of level 50 content. We'll see how this story unfolds. Update. Star Wars The Old Republic in crisis, down to 1.3 million subscribers. Dozens are leaving at the droves due to dead servers, lack of dependable in-game content, with Eternity Vault having tremendous bugs all throughout the whole instance, SWTOR only having a certain amount of plates for you to drop down on, and Crasus Palace only having 4 bosses. BioWare must release content soon in order to stave off the mass exodus. What can they possibly do? Update. With the release of Content Patch 1.2, BioWare has vowed to fix all the problems, releasing all Crasus Palace and redesigning PvP as we know it. Unfortunately, this has failed. Mass exoduses all over the place, hemorrhaging subscribers left and right, dead servers all over the place. There will be more to this story.
So as you can tell, a lot of the things that they are actually promising are things that they actually promised when the game first came out. However, I hope they understand, they have to be smart enough to understand, they as in BioWare, in understanding that they created an MMO, and MMOs have to have a few things. At least successful MMOs have to have a few things. And the line that they have had where they don't have an open sandbox world or any kind of niches like that, you generally have to have an in-game situation that has like raids and dungeons, or in their case, operations and flashpoints. Now, when the game first released, their flashpoints were phenomenal. They were enriched with the story behind them. They were significant to what you were doing, and they actually dropped and rewarded significant gear. They actually rewarded Kalumi set pieces. So they were the first part of your personal progression. You can go back and check any of the videos that I've ever talked about flashpoints, and you can get my whole spiel on that. Please do. Now, The problem that they lack is their competition in like the World of Warcraft per se is they don't actually come out with a lot of operations versions of raiding. And in this particular situation, BioWare has not actually mentioned any operation besides that they are going to take the old content, the old operations, and make them up to level 60 or beyond. I don't see why you would want to waste your resources on that. Everyone's pretty much mulched over that shit quite a bit, I would imagine, by this point, if you're interested in operations at all. So, if you're going to come out with a fantastic story, it's not going to be as good of a story or as impactful of a story as you would get for a single player game. Okay? What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to incorporate the end game. When you get to max level, what do you do? Okay? And it's an MMO, so we want to play with people. So you have to come out with operations. I have a Fixing the Galaxy where I, theorize what BioWare should do as far as fixing the operation situation. You can check it out. But in order to keep your subscribers, you are going to have in-game content as follows. You're going to have daily areas once you have done a very good job. And you have used your daily areas to actually enhance the story. You've done a great job with that, BioWare. You're actually going to have some interesting non-tactical flashpoints. People do tactical flashpoints as a means to an end. I don't think anyone really enjoys them per se. So operations, flashpoints. Okay, so that's one set of it. PvP. Okay, you're going to have to do something with PvP. So that is what a significant amount of your base actually enjoys for in-game. Okay, it's not just operations and flashpoints all the time, it's also PvP. So, focusing on PvP elements, either redesigning Galactic Starfighter a little bit to make it, more user-friendly. I really don't know a lot about it, about what you could change to make Galactic Starfighter better, but making PvP better is also very important. That's what a lot of people do at in-game. And so making interesting maps, new maps, you've done some good things with PvP. However, with your release of 90 cartel coins in order to switch servers, is that your secret for what is, quote, better than cross server, end quote, that we've all been waiting on? You know what's better than cross server? Just cross server. That would be so awesome right now, I think, for PvP. So, but you have to actually have some type of small storyline situation for people to do at in-game, like your daily areas, increasing story. That's one of three things that you're apparently focusing on. 2 would be PvE in-game content, flashpoints and operations. 3 would be PvP, Galactic Starfighter, and the ground game of PvP. You have to figure out a way to fix that. I am going to try to get a few people who are in PvP guilds and PvE guilds, maybe do an interview with them, talk to them, get their takes. Those are things that I want to do upcoming and as we're going forward with the Cult of Crasus. This is a lot of good news, but I do fear that it's not complete. That if you just focus on the story, you're not going to be able to succeed as an MMO, and you're going to lose subscribers. I for one enjoy your story, and I'll play your story, and if you don't have some operations, I'll go find another game to play. And I think a lot of people feel that same way. I'm not just going to wait around for new chapters of a story. Some people will, and that's some people. Me, I actually do. I'm very casual, but I actually like to do the operations myself. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot more people like to do the operations than you think. I'm not a PvP guy personally, but if you don't do some things to fix PvP, really fix PvP, in addition to what you already have with redesigning and streamlining the gear situation, I think I think you can fix it. That's the whole thing. If I didn't care, I wouldn't give a shit, I wouldn't be making this video. I think you can fix PvP. I think that you can fix PvE, and I think you can make a successful game under the budget you have. You just have to focus on those three things. I'm glad that you finally abandoned the Rail Starfighter game. God, that was terrible. And I applaud a lot of the things that BioWare has done with increasing the experience and the money that you get doing PvP, allowing you to actually level the way you want to level. That's important stuff. But you can't ignore, like MMOs have the holy trinity of tank, DPS, and healer. They also have the successful MMOs, also have the holy trinity of story content, PvE content, and PvP content at the end game. And that's important. Okay. Oh, and don't do what the World of Warcraft did and have some kind of crazy follower table so your followers can go out and have more fun than you do in the world. Nothing like that. You have to be engaged. So there's a lot of work to do, BioWare, and hopefully we'll have a few more announcements about what your plans are and how this is going to be implemented. Besides that, I am excited for the story. I think everyone really is. Hey, the trailer looks really, really cool. I will go ahead and echo what a lot of people have said. You're going to spend a significant amount of money on that trailer. You're probably going to spend a significant amount of money on the game. So, hey, that's awesome. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the Cult of Crasus and the You vs. Me Network. Make sure you like this video, give it a thumbs up, tell your friends, tell your parents, tell people you play with, tell anybody to come and watch this video for the love of God. And I'll see you out there.